The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 4th of July weekend edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts, but I'll give you a story on that in a second. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk with the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and YouTube. You can see us there as well. And when you see us on YouTube, you're going to see Sonia sitting in Steve's chair.
Hi.
Hey, Sonia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So Sonia is here because Steve has business off-site, family stuff to do, and he didn't know about it till last minute. So here you are.
Here I am.
Well, that's good that you, and of course, check your paycheck. We'll make sure that you get at least a couple of cents more.
I got that on video. We're all good. That's recorded now.
Very good. Yeah, you could use those couple of cents. So do you do anything special? 4th of July has kind of landed in a weird place, right? It was during the week, and then, do you got a camp or anything that you go to? Or
you know what? Normally I go camping with my fiance, but I think this year we're just going to stay home, hang out with the family, do the whole American grill outside, maybe watch some illegal fireworks, just a Syracuse special.
Sometimes I've thought about going down to like Mess's fireworks and Pennsylvania and picking up stuff, but I don't know, it's not worth it. Now you got the tents everywhere, so you can get it right from those tents.
It's not as exciting to go to Pennsylvania to get fireworks anymore.
Yeah, right. With those tents, you can go get just about anything and then have a blast. Well, anyway, whatever you do, I hope you have fun this evening. We're going to have fun for the next couple of hours because we got a great show lined up. Lynn High stops by. She's the Chief Development Officer at Food Bank of Central New York. Sean Jacobs is the President and CEO of STS Trailer and Truck Equipment. Grant Fletcher is the Community Outreach Manager for Fleet Feet. He'll stop by and tell us about his relatively new position and what Fleet Feet does. Adam Rombell is the Editor-in-Chief at the Business Journal. Rachel Scrippa stops by, designer at Roma Tile and Marble. Attorney James Alexander, the founder of James Alexander Law, will stop by and tell us about his practice. Bob Molta, the owner of Slot Car Central, will have a conversation with him. And then wrapping us up is Amy McNamara. She's the owner of Pick Your Stitch, all on the Local Show today, so stick around. Going to be riveting. Speaking of riveting, Lynn High's here.
I better be riveting.
Yes.
Always riveting.
Lynn is a senior.
I'm not a senior.
A seasoned professional, okay? You're a seasoned professional, and I'm happy to have you on. So what's happening this time of year over at the food bank?
So July 1st, we actually start our new fiscal year. So we're just a few days in here now. We don't have our finalized numbers yet from the last fiscal year, but we're estimating that we'll probably be in the 22 to 23 million pounds of food delivered.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
In our last fiscal year. So
is that more or less than previous years here?
That is COVID level.
Oh, okay.
So we have not seen these numbers. Like COVID was the first time we ever went above 20 million. Mm-hmm. We were over 22 million. So we're going to be very close to that again this year. Right. It did fall after that initial COVID spike. It fell because there were so many government programs being instituted, being offered to help people access food. And now as all of those have gone away, families and then the price of everything, we all see it when we go to the grocery store. Yeah. Families are really just having an even harder time making ends meet. And the demand on the emergency food network it's unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it's continuing to grow.
Jeez. So how does one a consumer get involved with the program to have food delivered? What criteria do you have to meet?
So we deliver the food actually to 400 programs in 11 counties. So those are like the food pantries, the soup kitchens, the emergency shelters.
Gotcha.
So then individuals that are working and living in those communities will then go to that food pantry or soup kitchen to access the food. A few of those programs do have delivery, but not a lot because there's a lot of them are volunteer run and they just don't have the bandwidth to do that. So usually it's somebody who is in need of food needs to go to that program to access the food.
I see. So, Sonia, what do you think? Did you have any questions? Because I know that, you hear Steve do the interviews with me, and he jumps right all over me. So I want you to feel free.
I don't have that much energy.
He drinks a lot of coffee before these things, in fairness.
You mean you didn't have like 4 pots yet?
I haven't even finished my first cup.
That's crazy. So, you are the mothership, so to speak,
yes.
of the food, right?
Yeah, we'll call it the mothership. So we're the distribution center that works behind the scenes. And actually, we're just almost finished with our expansion project that we've been working on. So our facility was 74,000 square feet. And then just as COVID hit, it became abundantly clear we didn't have enough room to do all the work that we wanted to do. And we have some ambitious goals in our strategic plan about program innovation and things like that. And we just didn't have the room to do that. So we embarked on an expansion project. And on September 6th, I know we're 2 months.
Yeah, right.
In 2 months. But I'm still saying we're doing a community open house from 11 to 3 and inviting the community in to see our new 108,000 square foot facility where all the food comes in and then it goes out to those 400 programs. We're increasing volunteerism. We're reducing waste, increasing capacity. We're really excited for what this new space is going to allow us to do.
Yeah, I've been in there. It's beautiful.
You got to see the expanded space.
Yeah,
but you got to come see the expanded space.
Where is it?
So we're out in the town of Van Buren. We're right off of Jones Road, the Jones Road exit of 690.
I got to tell you, I get lost there every single time. I don't spend a lot of time that far west, and then when I go down there, I'm like, where am I? And the next thing I know, I'm like in Elbridge or something.
Yeah, no. You don't have to get to Elbridge. Right. No, we're like right past Lakeland.
Okay, gotcha.
People always go, "Oh, you're the old PNC warehouse."
Oh,
we're not.
Not that.
We're not, but we're very close to those old PNC warehouses. You can actually see our building from 690. Actually, one side is 690, and the other side of our building in the rear is the throughway.
I see.
So it's a really convenient space for us to be because our trucks that are out delivering the food, they can easily access anywhere we need to go.
Mm-hmm. So how do you collaborate and who do you collaborate with? I mean, you touched on it a little bit. But what organizations?
So, I mean, in like the Onondaga County area, if you're thinking about food pantries or soup kitchens that we're partnering with, think of Salvation Army. Think of Assumption Church. Think of Samaritan Center.
Right.
Those are all just right here in Syracuse. But there's, in our 11 counties, there's more than 400 programs. I mean, one of our biggest collaborations actually is with Syracuse City School District. We provide a little bag of food that fits right into a backpack every week. For this past school year, it was 1,000 kids per week.
Good golly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we have volunteers come into the food bank, pack that up, and then we get them to the schools and then they give them out to the kids.
Is that just for the city schools? Or?
That's for the city schools that we're doing that. Other schools do have backpack programs where they're just getting the food from us and then they're packing the bags themselves.
Right.
But the city school district one, we have the volunteers come and pack at the food bank.
Well, you have a busy job.
Just a little bit, but you know what? It's really rewarding to know that we're making a difference in somebody's life and hopefully, allowing them to not only live but thrive in our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful.
Lynn, hi. You're wonderful as the Chief Development Officer at the Food Bank of Central New York. You're also a great person in general, and you do a good job speaking for that organization. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Have a great rest of the day. Coming up next, Sonia, we're going to talk with Sean Jacobs. He is the president and CEO of STS Trailer and Truck Equipment right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Don't go away.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. My co-host today is Sonia Patrician. And Sonia is our right-hand girl here. She kind of runs a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And, well, you have to put up with Steve.
You flatter me. You flatter me way too much.
Would it be that you are a glorified babysitter for Steve?
Off the record, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to do a lot of things to coordinate. And you do a lot of client interaction, too, here at Zoey Advertising. Right?
I do. And, I love it. I love meeting new people. I love helping them accomplish the project and the goals that they're looking for. So it's a lot of fun.
Good for you. And we enjoy having you. And you also are, fill-in host, co-host.
Woman of many hats.
For the show. Sometimes it just has to happen. New guest to the show right now, folks. Listen up. We're going to be talking with Sean Jacobs. He's the president and CEO of STS Trailer and Truck Equipment. How are you, Sean?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. It's good to have you, man. So STS, I've seen the place, and I think I've even been over there. I have a small travel trailer that I carry my DJ equipment in, and I needed a tail light and stuff, but then I found out quickly that you guys don't deal too much with small trailer stuff, do you?
Our primary business is the heavy-duty tractor trailers used to move freight, 18-wheelers.
Gotcha.
But because of that, we offer a different product line and service, parts and service for all the way down to your small trailer, of course. But we do all types of trailers, including small, but our primary is large tractor trailers.
Yeah. And where are you located? I can't remember where.
We're on Court Street.
Court Street, that was it, yeah.
Yep, right across the arterial from... Anybody remembers where Bob Barker's used to be way back when? We're right across the arterial there, and we've been at that location for about 23 years now.
Good. And how long have you been in the business?
I've been in business this being my 41st year.
No kidding. Wow.
Got involved right after high school.
Yeah, you've been involved with, so we must be around the same age because you've been doing that as long as I've been in the DJ marketing and voiceover world. That's cool. Yeah, so... what has changed over the years in the tractor trailer? Like, have parts become harder to get, or have they changed in technology?
That's a great question. The biggest thing I think that's changed is how technology has impacted manufacturing from all levels, in all ways, in all aspects of transportation, I should say. Tractor trailers are a box on wheels. Let's be honest. Yeah. We have offered different types. Those refrigerated, used for hauling poultry or eggs or frozen foods or ice cream or what have you. But also they're called dry freight trailers, which is just an industry term used for hauling any type of palletized freight. And that's that typical box trailer that you see on the highway. But our equipment goes all the way to recovery flatbeds that are used to recover wrecks, to transport equipment, heavy haul. Hundreds of thousands of pound loads are hauled on our products. And garbage trailers, every type of tractor trailer. Well, because of each one of those industries are very, very specialized, they take a very specialized piece of equipment. And technology has allowed a lot of that equipment to get safer, allowed it to get lighter, but still haul product safely and efficiently. And the key, of course, is if you're hauling a tractor trailer load, and the complete weight of the tractor trailer and load is 80,000 pounds, unless there's some permits, which is a whole different thing. But you want to be able to haul, if you're hauling product from Syracuse to Los Angeles, or from here to Scranton, you want to be able to haul as much as you can in one load. And so technology is applied to that. How in the trailer side of our industry, which we've been doing, STS started in 1949. This is our 75th year.
No kidding.
Wow.
And the Jacobs family, my parents bought it in 1976. And my twin brother and I have been involved with the business for over 40 years. I have an identical twin brother, as a matter of fact.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah, there you go. And we bought it at the start of 2012, but had been involved with it for quite some time. But as technology has changed, as the industry has changed, it's got a little smarter on the trailer side, just applying manufacturing. But really interesting, 2 years ago, STS became a truck dealer.
Oh, okay.
And we started selling new trucks. So
what brand?
It's a specialty truck that's used in distribution centers. It's called Kalmar Ottawa, and it's a yard truck. But what's interesting about Kalmar Ottawa is they're a super efficient, super specific design truck to be used in a distribution center for where tractor trailers, the new Amazon warehouse.
Okay.
In every distribution, I just use that as a local landmark, is they use a number of these to move trailers away from their docks and to be loaded and dropped out in the yard so somebody can hook up to it.
So they wouldn't be over the road. They would just be on premise.
They are.
To move things.
They are. But the interesting thing for STS is we're this trailer dealer since 1949.
Yeah.
And then in just to backtrack timeline a little bit, in 1990 we got into the truck equipment business, which means we upfit work trucks. I use as an example, that plumber's body or that mason body that goes in the back of a small, a F-350 or a Chevy, what have you. Yeah. But all the way up to we do deal with all the municipalities and dump trucks and that type of equipment. That's the name of our company, STS Trailer, big and with that, truck equipment and trucks. So now our company now is STS Trailer, Truck and Equipment.
Right.
So that's just a little bit of timeline. But back to the technology aspect and what's changed. 2 years ago, becoming a truck dealer, now we're dealing with engines. Now we're dealing with the drivetrain. And
so you have a complete service center over there.
Every one of we have 5 operations. We have 4 dealerships in New York and 1 in Pennsylvania. Every one of our dealerships looks like that original business model of a car dealership. You walk in our front door, you see our parts department, you see our service department, you see our salespeople, and then you see the accounting department. And then our service departments and parts departments are the exact same as you see at a car dealership, just much larger because the equipment is so much larger.
Right.
Not nearly as clean. So if anybody comes by my place, don't wear any white pants, but just because our equipment's heavy duty and over the road.
Wow, that's incredible.
Long answer to a short question about how things have changed, but primarily technology.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite part of being in this business is? Is it the evolving technology? Is it meeting new customers?
I think that's a good question as well. I'm not sure there's a favorite part of it. Of course, got involved with this after college. I just knew that it took all of my skill sets. I've been involved with the operations and administration of our business, short time in sales for most of my career. I think it's the challenge. It's running any small business, and ours is, I guess, a somewhat larger small business. We have about 100 families that we're responsible for, but it still operates the exact same as any other small business. You got to be able to be quick on your feet and know a lot of different things. And I think the biggest, not really answering your question yet, but I guess the biggest thing is recognize what you don't know. The thing I think I do enjoy the most is working with our staff, developing a plan for their success, whether it's at STS or whether it's not. Developing a plan with our vendors that meets their expectations so that we accomplish their objectives. Their job is to get smoke to come out of their factories, stacks, and our job is to distribute the product. Nice. And so then when we get that customer and we meet their expectations and meet their needs, then we've kind of made that full circle. So I guess it is the people. I think the answer is just at different interactions.
Well, it's good to know that you are a family-owned business. I never knew that, so that's something I learned. And you do a great job keeping local people employed, keeping your family fed and all that. So continue to do that great job for us, would you? Of course. All right. Sean Jacobs right there, President and CEO of STS Trailer and Truck Equipment. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks so much. Appreciate being here.
Happy 4th of July. Grant Fletcher's coming up next, Community Outreach Manager at Fleet Feet. We'll talk to him and get running on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We are back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and that means you are too. It is the Independence Day weekend. It's weird. It's a day, but it's a weekend. But
anything can be a weekend if you put your mind to it.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Out there blowing up things. It's not as fun anymore. I used to like it when I was a little boy. Well, little boy, I say, in my teens, when we could get the fireworks and light them off. And of course, Sonia, you probably, you don't remember because you're a little younger, but they used to have, like, all the parks in town used to have all the big bands when Stan Colella's band was really rocking. And my father was in the band, and then they would have the fireworks at all these different places, and the orchestra would play. And
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, all the big John Philip Sousa stuff and the marches. And, of course, when I was a young man and a medium young man and my sister was younger, we'd march around the fields and you'd see all these kids marching, and it was kind of fun. But they don't do that so much anymore. But anyway, let's talk with Grant Fletcher. But first, you know a little bit about Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, right?
I do. I've been to a couple of their workshops. Super informative.
Yeah, what'd you think?
You know what? I actually never... when you're my age, you just kind of think you have forever. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to have forever. I should probably, in the long term, keep that in the back of my head and be prepared.
Yeah. And they do great preparation, right? Where they...
They do. You know what? Questions, anything that I had was answered. There was a lot of participation. I heard a whole other side of it.
Right.
It was wonderful.
And it's funny, it came up in conversation during the week. We had my father-in-law over. He's he's born in Dublin, Ireland. So he's going to be going back over to Ireland with his sister, and they have a sister who's in her upper 90s, but she's a little ill now. So they're going to go over and visit. But we were talking about wills and trusts and planning and all that with my father-in-law, and Safe Harbor came up, and I said, you can go over there and you don't have to pay for anything. You can talk with one of the caseworkers and get to know them first.
You can never be too prepared.
Right, and get over there. Well, anyway, their phone number is 370-9977. 370-9977. Safe Harbor WillsandTrust.com if you want to check them out, folks. Grant Fletcher's with us. He's the Community Outreach Manager at Fleet Feet. How are you, Grant?
Doing well, Tom. How are you?
Very good. I don't know if they told you, but I was over at the store a few months back and got some sneakers.
Yes, right after I was on the last time, I saw your name come through that you had finally listened to what I was saying here and took advantage of what we offer.
Yeah, I made a purchase, got some New Balance brand over there with some inserts to make me 2.5 feet taller. Now I'm about 6'5". No, but they did put some inserts in there because I had a plantar's fasciitis going on at the time, and it corrected everything, and I wear them at the gym. People think I'm stylish, and I'm feeling good.
That's what we do. We solve problems for people.
Yeah. You know what? Not a lot of people realize that so many things, how you walk to how you stand, all connect right to your shoes.
Absolutely. So, Grant, how long have you been there?
I have been with Fleet Feet now for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And before that, what'd you do?
I was in the fundraising world.
Okay.
I planned events and raised money. And when Fleet Feet heard about my business-to-business connections from fundraising, they said, well, we've got these programs called Workplace Fit and medical marketing that we think you would be really really good for. Why don't we come talk? So
yeah, tell me a little bit about those programs, because prior to you taking this position, were you just you were a manager, right, of one of the stores or all the stores?
No, I've always been on the marketing side.
Oh, you always have. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. So what about these programs that you're talking about?
So Workplace Fit is where we'll bring a mobile store to a place of business and outfit the employees in great shoes, insoles, and socks.
They have to pay for it, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought it was like a free thing.
No. And we've been at Inficon so far this year, and Carrier, and we're going back to Roma and Flanagan in a month or so.
Nice.
And then on the medical marketing side is, as I mentioned, we're problem solvers. Mm-hmm. People will go into a podiatrist and they'll say, you need to pay us $600 for custom insoles. And they say, wait, my insurance isn't going to cover that. And they'll say, well, then go see somebody at Fleet Feet, because we have much more price conscientious products that do equally as good as a custom insole.
Yeah, incredible. So what's the hottest selling, I want to say the hottest selling sneaker, but it's all depends on what your issue is, right?
It is. Brand wise, Hoka is always up there. It's very fashion.
I'm seeing a lot of those at the gym, especially with the women.
It's a good shoe for the right foot, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
On is another brand that is very very fashion forward, I'll call it. And then we just added a shoe from the Rabbit line last week. Rabbit, up to this point, had been athleisure apparel.
Okay.
It's no longer just gym shorts and a T-shirt that you go to a gym with, and you've got to have something branded and stylish. And
well, some people. I go with a schmuck and my sneakers.
After being in the apparel side of things, Rabbit said, well, let's develop a shoe, and it came out a week ago, and it's very lifestyle oriented. It'd be a great shoe if you're going on a cruise.
Oh, okay.
To put on after you play around a golf at the country club. Mm-hmm. So we've got things for everyone.
It's comfortable. It can be a walker and all that.
Exactly.
And with Fleet Feet, I know they put me on that machine and made me walk around. And tell people about that, what that experience is.
So sure, it's called our Fit ID technology, and it starts by you standing on a platform, and I call them the wizards, give us a 3D image of your feet, mm-hmm. and then you walk across a pad that tells us how much pressure you're putting on your feet as you move.
Yeah.
And we use those two things and what we talk about before that to determine what shoes might be best for you. And even the technology has gone a little bit further now, that they'll match the shape of your foot to the shape of the shoe that would be best for you.
Yeah.
And we can see that. And again, somebody might come in and say, I want an on-cloud. Sure, we'll pull one for you, but our wizards think a New Balance might be better for you.
Right, okay.
We'll pull both and let you and your feet decide which one would be best.
That's great.
Oh, that's incredible. I just remember getting my shoes, going on the little foot measure, and that was it. You just found a color you liked, and you went.
Yeah.
Do you know that foot measure was created right here in Syracuse?
I think we had talked about that before.
Yeah, absolutely. The Brannick machine, or the Brannick device.
Yeah, celebrating 100 years.
Isn't that incredible?
It is.
Wow. Yeah, I know that after walking across that pad, well, the little... an alert came up and it said, is he walking or hobbling? So it turned out they said I was walking. So, but yeah, it showed where the pressure was. And if you step in or if you step out, and that can determine a lot of things. One thing I found out that one of the salespeople told me there was that more contact with the floor is better for a guy my age, 60 years old and all that, but rather than some of these sneakers have a high platform. They feel real comfortable, like you're walking on a cloud, but sometimes that's not the best thing for you as you get older.
Exactly. And that's what you use the phrase that we're salespeople, and actually we're outfitters.
Okay. Gotcha.
We aren't commission based. We're hourly based for our pay, which I think people don't understand is that we want you walking out in the best shoe for you, not the one that's going to make us the most money.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's the price. That's worth the admission right there.
Exactly.
Going over to Fleet Feet. And, of course, you're up in Clay.
Clay and DeWitt.
In DeWitt.
Yep.
And those are the two main stores. And sometimes you're around. People can say hello to you, or are you just out in the...
Usually at least one day a week I'm at each store out on the floor. You can stop in and say hi, and I'll be in a building, no matter what, every day.
Excellent. Well, Grant Fletcher right there, Community Outreach Manager at Fleet Feet. Get your feet right, fleetfeet.com, fleetfeet.com. Thank you so much, Grant, for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Adam Rombell, or Romble. I don't know. He's not my friend, but he's Steve's. Editor-in-Chief at the Business Journal, CNYBJ.com. Coming up next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found it, folks. It's the 4th of July edition of The Local Show. Thank you for hopping on board and hanging out with us right here on your radio or, electronic device or however you listen to things. My co-host today is Sonia Patrician. She is right-hand gal to Steve Roberts. Steve is on some personal business today, so she's hanging out with us and learning what a crazy world radio is.
Happy to be here.
But thank you for hanging out with us. I do appreciate that. I was going to ask you, where do you listen to? What device do you listen to the most? If you're, listening to radio or news or podcasts.
I finally got with the times, and my fiance got me into Spotify after I rebelled so much. Like, I'll just go on YouTube and I'll listen to what I want.
Sure. But you're Spotifying it, huh?
I am. I'm modern now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my brides, and for those who listen to the show a lot, know that I've been in the DJ world for about 42 years, and they'll be giving me Spotify playlists now. That's the new thing, and they think that I can just grab that music, and I'm like, no,
that's not how that works.
Yeah, right. I just can't grab those MP3s. It's just a list.
That would be nice if you could, though.
Yeah. Well, I do have a special tool that does that, which, that's my magic trick in the background. But in general, you can't do that. Anyway, speaking of technology and changing technologies and all that, we're going to talk about some of that stuff with Adam Rombell, who is the editor-in-chief at the Business Journal. How are you, Adam?
Hi, I'm doing pretty well. Glad to be here.
Well, good to be here with you. We move right close to that microphone there.
Okay.
Yeah, we want you to get you close. Last week, it was funny. Steve has been doing the show with me now for 5.5 years. His nostril was actually, the microphone was actually up his nostril. So
that checks out.
He got a little too close to the microphone. But Adam, how long have you been with Business Journal?
Oh, it just passed 20 years last fall.
No kidding.
Yep.
And what did you do before that?
Well, I've been in business journalism since the mid-'90s. It's my passion. I love covering business. I was in New York City, so I was with I was with Bloomberg News, Business News for a while.
Kidding.
I was with
cool.
Institutional Investor. So
yeah.
Then I came home. I'm from here, and I had an opportunity to come home.
What side of town did you grow up on?
Camillus, and now I've lived in Baldwinsville for the last 20 years, so I'm a West Sider.
Yeah, West Side guy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So down in New York City, did you do any broadcast, or was it all paper at that time?
No, I've been on the so-called print electronic side, but I have done broadcast hits like this, and I appeared on Bloomberg TV from time to time as a guest. So
that's got to be a pretty big deal for you. Right? Yeah. Good credentials. So the Business Journal has been around for a while now. When I was in my media sales roles, I used to use the paper all the time because I would find out who's advertising in there.
Yes.
Go call on them as well.
Sure.
But I know it has more far-reaching, what do I want to say, benefits to people.
Yeah, we call it, we don't call it a newspaper anymore. We call it, an information source because we still have the print edition, and then we have an events business called Biz Events.
Oh,
and
right.
And then the flagship is the website, the CNYBJ.com. And we actually have some news on that. We just launched the new website. We relaunched it, and it's redesigned, revamped, easier to use for the viewers and the readers, and just a lot of features that are it's much easier to navigate now. So that's a brand new thing that we just launched maybe 10 days ago or so. CNYBJ.com.
I do love the new website. I gotta say, I go on and I check occasionally. It's been a lot more fun to navigate.
Yeah, I think I get the news alerts, and I don't see it just from Syracuse. I see it from the Southern Tier, and don't I see it from Utica? Or
yes, we have always been much more than Syracuse. We covered a 16-county region of Central New York, so that's from Bingham, the Pennsylvania border, up to Canada, and basically the Finger Lake, Seneca Falls, that area across to Herkimer.
I see.
Or Cooperstown, actually. So it's a huge area, 16 counties.
Yeah, that is big. Yeah. Now, you say you were a reporter, like for the business side of things. Do you have reporters that are out there? Or
yes, we have a couple reporters that cover everything for us, and then myself as well. I pitch in as a reporter as well, in addition to being the editor and figuring out what we're going to cover and all.
Yeah, I'm kind of old school, and sure. I'm envisioning people with the fedora hats on and running around with press passes and things. Is that the way it still works? I mean, are you guys circulating?
There is some of that. There are press conference. Yeah, the press pass. You go to the press conference. Like for example, when the president was here at the most, and when was that? A few months ago, we went to we go to events like that, and then. But a lot of it now is done, as you guys know, electronically. You're texting your sources, you're emailing them.
Right.
That's how it's.
But you guys are actually digging up stuff.
Absolutely.
Material. It's not.
Yeah,
just
we're interviewing. We're doing features. Yeah, we get a lot of material that comes in, and then we look at it. We figure out, okay, that we think this is newsworthy. Let's set up an interview. And let's dig deeper. And we like to tell the stories of the businesses, because our readers are business owners and managers, and they like to read about themselves and their colleagues, their peers, and that's where what we offer that we don't think anybody else offers. That in-depth, how did you get in business? What motivates you? Why do you keep going? It's so hard now in business to survive. What's your key to success? Though we dig up those types of questions and answers. At least we try to.
Yeah. Well, that's very much in line with what we do here.
Yes.
Well, what I do. I don't know what Steve does. But
I'm here every day, and you know what? Sometimes I'm not entirely sure.
Right. I hear you. So about Micron, what do you know? What do you know about Micron, and are you excited to see what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you go by the numbers that are being promised, it's going to have a transformative effect. I mean, we don't know until everything starts getting built just how much it's going to be. But I mean, it could be 50,000 to 100,000 new residents of this area. Incredible. In the next decade plus. We've never seen that kind of growth since. Since any of us were alive.
Yeah. Well, I think about when I visit my sister who lives down in Georgia. She's in Alpharetta, Georgia, which is, really happening. A northern part of, just, I don't know, I think she's 40 minutes away from Atlanta. And everything is going on. I mean, you just got traffic everywhere. And, there's places to go everywhere from a massage to a pet food store to all around, just lots of things. And I think that's what I imagine is going to happen here, where it's going to be,
Yeah, you're going to see follow-on effect with all these apartment complexes, townhomes, restaurants, little shops,
Schools. I don't know what they're going to do with the schools, if they're going to expand or just put annexes on things. They're going to have to
expand.
You would think so.
No other choice.
Yeah, particularly CNS.
Right.
And I think a part that's not talked about as much is I think you're going to see this is going to be a mini boom in Oswego County, southern Oswego County, and even maybe parts of Madison County. Because the housing prices, the just being able to find housing is going to be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that in Oswego County they might even get running water now. Just
Changes,
kidding, folks.
upgrades, things are happening.
Well, thank you, Adam Rumbell, right there, editor-in-chief at the Business Journal. Thank you for all you do and all your staff does.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
You got it. Hey, kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Rachel Scrippa. She's a designer at Roma Tile and Marble. Attorney James Alexander, the founder of James Alexander Law, will stop by. Bob Molta, owner of Slot Car Central. And finally, Amy McNamara, owner of Pick Your Stitch. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Rachel Scrippa. She's a designer at Roma Tile and Marble. Attorney James Alexander, the founder of James Alexander Law, will stop by. Bob Molta, owner of Slot Car Central. And finally, we'll wrap things up with Amy McNamara. She's the owner of Pick Your Stitch. All here on The Local Show as we get ready. Are you all strapped in, Sonia, ready to go?
100% ready to go.
Do you feel like you're trying to fill the shoes of Steve?
Those are some pretty big shoes.
Yeah,
he's a giant.
He is. So you don't feel any pressure or anything?
No, not at all.
You're
Always just happy to hang out with you.
Good. Well, and same here. I'm happy to hang out with you. Rachel, how are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to see that the sun's back out after a little bit of a dreary weekend.
Yeah, I know. It's been rather wet. You know, my tree, I have a crab apple tree, I guess they call it. Beautiful pink blossoms in the spring. I mean, the thing is just breathtaking. Well, it did its spring thing, then it died. Like the leaves started falling off it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? So I call up Bartlett Tree, because they've been on the show a couple of times, and he says, you got a fungus among us. It's a fungus thing that happens to these crabapple trees, and now I'm going to have to get it, we got to do like a fertilizer. The tree's not dead, so I don't have to replant, but we got to do a whole regiment of things.
Well, at least you just didn't look at it wrong.
Yeah.
You never know with plants.
You never know. But and he said it's because of the wetness and how much moisture we've had.
Oh, okay.
Which created this fungus.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Rachel, what's your background? Where'd you come from? Are you homegrown?
So, yeah, I'm born and raised in Syracuse, New York.
Gotcha.
So I've been here my whole life.
What side of town?
Yeah. So I'm over on the east side of Syracuse, kind of near Lemoyne College.
Yeah.
In that area.
Did you grow up in that side of town? Or?
I moved there in my teen years, so
Okay.
I'd say to some extent. Before that, we were in Liverpool.
Okay. What high school did you go to then?
I went to Liverpool.
Okay, you went to Liverpool.
I did,
Yeah,
yeah.
and finished off there. Good, okay. Won't hold that against you.
I try not to hold it against myself. I love it.
Did you go to college for anything, or did you go right into the workforce?
So pretty much right into the workforce, and then a little bit down the road as an adult, I did go back to school. So I got a little bit of a background in interior design.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
And that's what brought you to Roma. Did you do something before Roma?
So actually, I worked up on Syracuse University and waitressed for about 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's...
at Fagan's. So
Oh, no
I'm sure
kidding,
there's a lot of
yes.
people stomping grounds at some point in their college career.
Well, you don't look that old. I mean, I'm 60 years old, but way back in the 80s, I used to bounce at Fagan's.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and then
okay.
I was a DJ because that's my background, right? So I DJ'd at Sutter's, and when I wasn't DJing, I would bounce. And then so when they hired me over to Fagan's, and they said, "Oh, you bounce over there. Well, you can bounce over here." And it's like, well, but those were great places. Fagan's.
Oh yeah.
Probably,
oh my gosh, yeah. It's a different world up there now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That time.
A little bit.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I don't even understand how the roads go anymore. I don't know what's open, what's not.
It's completely different.
Yeah,
So,
wacky. Okay, so you did that, and then what brought you to Roma?
So I had started to try to get back into the world of design.
Okay.
And this wonderful family that I know, they own a nonprofit organization called In My Father's Kitchen.
Oh, yeah, John Tamino.
Yeah, John.
We got him on the
He's
show
wonderful.
coming up.
Oh, good. He's great. So he had a project where they were opening this life house for women that were transitioning, and they were looking into finding somebody to design that project. And I kind of stumbled across that project and was hired on as the designer, or voluntarily, I guess, provided my time as the designer for that. And by chance, a girl I had worked with at Fagan's some time back was also employed by Roma Tile. So I stopped in there looking, and the opportunity presented itself, and I've been there since. It's been about 5.5 years.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So Roma has a great reputation in town. Do you work primarily with consumers, or do you work with home builders?
Both.
Okay.
We work with a lot of the local home builders, designers, and there's residential people that walk in, consumers, retail customers. Mm-hmm. So we open our doors to everybody.
Now, I haven't been into Roma in a while. Give us the breadth of products that they have, because I don't know everything that they sell.
Sure. So countertop installations drives our business. We do a lot of quartz, granite, soapstone, marbles, full house, vanity tops, kitchens. Mm-hmm. We also sell tile. So we have an abundance of different companies that tiles you can source from. We don't install the tile itself, but there's multiple vendors that we sell tile for as well.
Yeah. That's, what do you find the biggest trend is right now?
I was wondering that too.
Yeah, so it's funny, everything comes full circle. So I think a lot of people are finding their way back to more organic styles. So you see the wood cabinets coming back, mm-hmm. some of those natural stones, travertines, and a little more of that feel that kind of went away for a while when the grays were all introduced. Still a lot of grays, but...
Yeah. Is marble, quartz, marble, or granite? What's the most popular surface?
Yeah, so this is, I think, like the big debate between everybody. So granite and quartzite are phenomenal products to put in your kitchen.
Right. Yes.
Marble starts to get a little finicky, especially like your white Carreras. They're very soft. They stain, they etch.
Okay,
so those are usually not recommended.
Yeah.
We do have a big move towards people opting to do them anyways, but quartz is man-made. You don't have to seal it or anything along those lines.
Oh, no kidding.
A little more subject to heat issues, so hot pots and pans out of the oven you wouldn't want to put on it.
Right.
Granites and quartzites are pretty much indestructible in those ways. They do have to be sealed.
You know what? My granite is tough. I get bummed out because if you get just a little slop of butter on there, or I'm making the sauce. I am full Italian, so I'm making sauce all the time. So I do that, and it stains and it gets all yellowy, and then I gotta, even though it's sealed.
How long ago did you have it put in?
Last year, and so I have to, use the little tricks. You probably sell stuff that will get those kinds of oil stains out. What's it called?
Poultice.
Poultice, yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I make my own concoction with baking soda and whatever else I use.
Baking soda fixes everything.
You would think.
Everything.
That and white vinegar, I hear a lot of good stuff
about. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, is that common with granite, or?
It's not super common.
Oh, okay.
It could be that it's maybe a granite that tends to be more porous.
I see.
So maybe some of the sealers worn off. Usually we use a 15-year sealer, so you don't really run into that so often. So I don't know. I mean, it could also be that maybe whatever was being cleaned with in that area, it was being cleaned with, might have opened up the pores in that sealer.
Okay.
Because if you're using white vinegars and things like that, it can start to break down.
So do you have a sealer over there for people, and could I reseal?
You could potentially reseal, yeah. So there is a sealer that we sell.
Okay.
It runs around $85.
Oh, my goodness.
It should be a 15-year, so it should last quite some time. Easy to put on.
Easy to put on, okay. Yeah, I might have to come and see you for that, because I'd like to do that. Anything you want to tell people, if they come in, should they see you and talk about their kitchen remodel or bathroom or whatever?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we work with a lot of, like I said, different contractors and companies, so it's always requested to give a quick call. You can ask for myself, Rachel. Some of our local contractors work individually with other people, so we have different accounts that we work with. So if you just call us, give us that information, we're more than happy to work with you. And
well, what's the phone number? You tell me. What do you got?
Sure, you can reach Roma Tile at 315-471-7856.
Great. And the website, romatileny.com.
You can, yes.
Okay.
You can send an email
Lots of pictures there and email. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Rachel, it's great to meet you. I hope to have you on again.
Well. Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with attorney James Alexander, the founder of James Alexander Law, jamesalexanderlaw.com, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, folks, on this Independence Day weekend. Just sounds weird when you say Independence Day weekend. It's the Independence weekend, I guess you would call it, right?
I would say so.
Do you have a big backyard, Sonia?
No, you know what? I wish we did, because then I would definitely have a dog. But no, I'd say it's decent size for the city, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, we have a big backyard, and we had the patio put in last year, so we've been spending a lot of time on the patio.
Oh, it's got to be nice.
So yeah, on a weekend like this, we will enjoy ourselves out there and let the dogs run around and play around my bird feeders. I love the birds. And,
I know. They're gorgeous this year.
What I don't love is the squirrels. And no offense if you're a squirrel and you're listening. I don't mean to offend you, but squirrels can be kind of a nuisance. They're fun to watch as little babies rolling around, but they go through the feed.
They lose the cuteness so fast.
They do. They grab my bird feeders and take out my feed, and at $30 a bag, I don't want to keep paying for that. Anyway, we have a new guest to the show, Sonia, and I'm glad to have you here with me so we can interview him. His name is Attorney James Alexander. He's the founder of James Alexander Law. How are you?
I'm great, and it's good to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So, did you go to law school here in town, or no? Were you out of town?
No, I did. Syracuse College of Law in 1984.
No kidding. So we got to be around the same age.
Oh, you're much younger. Yeah, I'm 66. And that's not the new 35.
It's not. No. People keep trying to tell me I'm the new 40 at 60, and it doesn't feel it. Well, my mom was the admin for Dean Braveman up at SU. So she was there when you were there, Kathy. Yeah. And actually, Joni Mahoney was there probably around the same time or just before you. Yeah, I would imagine. That's something. I love the law school. What a great, because I was up at SU for broadcasting, and I go up and eat lunch with my mom and stuff, and just beautiful architecture.
It's a gorgeous campus.
Where'd you go to undergrad?
Tufts University in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. Then coming out of Syracuse High School, so I'm a Syracusan, grew up here.
Yeah.
My father was the mayor of Syracuse for 16 years.
Yeah, it's a while.
It was long ago. He passed in 1996. And so I've been practicing law and running the law firm for 40 years now.
Golly, that is something else. And what kind of law do you specialize in, for those that don't know?
Well, I'm a trial lawyer, and we limit our practice to representing injured people or people that have been killed and their families and their estates. So a lot of motor vehicle accidents, construction accidents, slip, trip, and fall accidents, product liability, some medical malpractice.
Yeah. Really? That's you almost have to be like not only know the law, but it's almost like you have to be part psychologist too, because people come to you in a very traumatic
I'm sure you got to be vulnerable.
Yeah, and they're also vulnerable.
Oh yeah, it's a great point, and so much of the job is being able to communicate and to be empathetic towards the clients and to really help them when they're in some difficult situations. Yeah.
How big is your law firm? How many people do you have other than yourself?
It's varied over the years, and so we've had as many as 8 attorneys. I would call that a medium-sized law firm. We're less now. I'm fortunate enough to have my 2 sons who are lawyers have joined the firm.
Great.
Jack has been with me for a couple of years. Lee is starting now, and it's really nice to work with my sons in a work environment, and they've taken on to it quickly. We have a big support staff of legal secretaries, paralegals, bookkeepers, receptionists, and we work with a lot of outside people too who are experts to help our clients' cases. So it's been a long journey for 40 years in Central New York.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
That's great. And I was going to ask you what makes you different, but you kind of indicated a couple of things. It's sort of like family run, right? Family owned and run.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And things have changed a lot. I mean, COVID happened so that doctors, surgeons, and personal injury lawyers didn't have a lot of business over that period of time because people weren't traveling. They weren't going to jobs.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
They weren't going to retail, entertainment, and things like that. And the court system kind of partially closed down. Now we're back to normal. Unfortunately, we see a lot of accidents on the road. A lot of people distracted. A lot of people use texting.
Oh, sure, with all the technology now, even the technology in our cars. You know, my friend just got a Tesla. We're driving in it. You can go onto YouTube. You can play games on there. It's incredible.
Yeah. And it does cause accidents. And I don't think it's realistic to believe that we're all going to be in driverless cars, certainly not in my lifetime.
No, I don't think so.
You know, so that's going on. And also, the practice of law has changed a lot because it used to be a lot more local and people would hire local attorneys. And now we have attorneys who aren't really here in central New York.
I've noticed that, yeah.
But they advertise here as if they are, and they try to lead the public to believe they are. And we have national law firms coming in and trying to do the same thing. So they're all competing for, a piece of the pie and to fight for the clients. But, the fact that my law firm and myself have been in central New York, going to Binghamton and the North Country and Rochester and all over the state, we've come to know the defense attorneys, the judges, the doctors we deal with all the time, and that's invaluable. We had to take a case away from another law firm, a Buffalo law firm that pretends they're in Syracuse. Client became dissatisfied very quickly, had no idea that they weren't from Syracuse. Jeez. And his attorney was in Buffalo. And they finally found out, and after not getting to communicate, decided, no, we need somebody here that we can see and talk to.
Yeah, I think that would be really important. And I have to say, I've met you on different occasions, but never had a detailed conversation with you until now. And you're really easy to talk to. You're not, over the top lawyerly. Some people, and I went to school with a lot of guys who were lawyers. They'll remain nameless right now. I went to CBA. But you're really easy to talk to, and you have a gentle demeanor, and that is so important. I had an accident one time in my Mustang. I'm into muscle cars, and I was devastated. I bumped a guy in the back, and I thought it was going to be no big deal. Well, anyway, I got counsel from my insurance agency, and the guy was trying to coach me through because it went to trial, and I had to be in a trial with this, and I had never been in a courtroom ever in my whole life, and all of a sudden I have to talk in front of a jury, and I have to come across a certain way, and it was so important to get coaching and to talk and to we won, so that was a good thing, but that was tough, and I can't imagine not communicating with somebody like yourself, and that has to be a big advantage.
Oh yeah, people need representation. On the average, all the studies have shown that if you get an attorney, you're likely to receive 3 times or more what the insurance company would negotiate for. And the insurance companies are profit driven, and they try to pay as little as possible. They have smart attorneys represent them. They try to pay as little as possible. If you're a personal injury victim, you become the target of a forensic investigation. They start investigating everything that happened in your past. They look on your social media, anything to destroy your credibility.
Yeah.
And then even worse yet, Tom, is that at some point they're going to hire a retired doctor, a lot of whom are dishonest, to say that the injuries aren't so bad, they weren't caused from the car accident, so forth and so on. So if you don't have an attorney with a great deal of experience dealing with all of these situations, you're at a big disadvantage. Yeah.
Well, folks, you can call attorney James Alexander right there. He's the founder of James Alexander Law. He's got both of his boys working with him as well. JamesAlexanderLaw.com, JamesAlexanderLaw.com. Check him out today. Thank you so much. It's been a great conversation. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right. Bob Molta's coming up next. He's the owner of Slot Car Central. He'll be right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. I salute you, all you patriots out there. Patriotic weekend in full progress. Happy 4th of July, Independence Day weekend. It was weird having it on Thursday, I just think that, we didn't get enough time off. I think we should get more time off. Of course, I got a vacation coming up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'm going to vacate.
For you.
Yeah, I am excited as well. I think it's going to be a staycation, but I'm not into the exotic stuff like Steve. Goes.
You know what? Sometimes the stay-at-home ones are the best.
Yeah, I want to be able to get up, go to the gym when I want, and eat what I want, and do things on nobody's schedule. Just kind of chill out. And that's what I'd like. Hey, Sonia, we've got a guy here who's been on the show a couple of times. Wonderful human being and a fun guy to talk to. His name is Bob Molta, and he's the owner of Slot Car Central. How are you there, Bob?
Better than I deserve. How are you all?
Good.
Pretty good.
It's good to, every once in a while we like to get Italians on so that I feel at home.
Round it out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Feel all good.
And the good thing about 4th of July on Thursday is a lot of people have 4-day weekends.
Well,
cruise off
true.
for the weekend. So nice. How am I going to make them come in on Friday?
No, you can't do
Stay
that.
home.
Right. So let me ask you this. What got you into this line of business and how long you been doing it?
Toys probably came from birth. I was born in 1962 and I got 3 older brothers. As the last one left for college, I ended up with the toys. Mm-hmm. So it is always in the house. And then after I went through college and went through a couple careers, I dug out my old toys. As you get older,
yeah, sure,
you like playing with toys.
Yeah.
The only difference between men and boys is their toys.
Is the toys.
So I dug those back out, and one thing turned to another, and it just happened to be a time when slot cars, electric slot race cars, were kind of coming back into things, coming back into vogue. After all, everything digital.
Yeah.
People like a little mechanical, fun.
Goes full circle.
And the nice thing is, as we're getting older, we have grandkids.
Oh, yeah, right.
So a lot of people use the excuse, they're for my grandkids.
Yeah.
Whatever works. So it's a toy that's been around since 1960 or so. Hasn't changed too much other than much faster, much more durable, much stronger, but very similar. We still race the stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and yesterday.
Excellent. And tell people where you're located, where your building is. And I imagine since COVID is, kind of in the rearview mirror, you let people come in and you have a what do we call a brick and mortar?
Yes, we always let people come in. We didn't
shut down
too much attention to that stuff. And most of our business is mail. 95% of our business we ship all over the world. We're right on Teal Ave. Next to the Lincourt Bakery, if somebody has a sweet affiliation.
Kitty corner to the Italian club.
Athletic Association.
Association.
And we're the building with the 1974 Saab Sonnet on the roof.
Right. Nice. So your toys, aside from slot cars, you do sell vintage toys. Do you take in vintage toys?
So yes, I like to. I tell people that I like to get in the way of the dump. I don't like when we take old items and just willy-nilly throw them away. When I have the ability to take a collection and redistribute it, give it another, it's like when I do properties. I like to give properties another 100 years of use.
Sure.
And generally that's from the worst ones, but we take in, on Slot Car World, there's nothing bad. It's all good from way back when through now. So yes, in general, toys, anything with wheels, anything with a motor, I'm pretty darn good at. We sell a huge, one of my monikers on eBay is regression therapy toys.
Okay.
So that's the area on eBay that we sell everything.
Yeah, if people want to look you up, regression
Therapy
toys. Okay, they can look you up on eBay.
So I do mostly toys. I do a little Americana as well. I tell people I'm an expert on my own opinion. I'll tell you what I know for nothing. It might be worth about that, but I'll at least tell you what I know.
Gotcha. Sonia's a little bit younger than us. So, Sonia, when you were even younger, like, let's say middle school age, what'd you play with? What kind of toys did you play with? And we'll see if there's any worth to them now.
Let's see. I was really into Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels, definitely. Oh wow, I feel
are
old.
Hot Wheels still a thing?
So Hot Wheels is that one collectible that just never stops giving. Although they've made, I think, something like 2 trillion of them.
No kidding.
Hot Wheels, especially items from before, let's say 1985.
Gotcha.
Well before
Sonia
was around.
Yeah.
That particular genre of collectible is just insane because mostly, it has the history, it has the provenance, it has the memories.
Right.
But when you look at the vehicles, they're just very well done. A lot of them made in
beautiful.
USA. A lot of them, you can tell somebody was concerned when they made that, not so much.
Oh no, the details are incredible. I still have some of mine that were even in cereal box prizes just because I can't stand to throw them away.
Yeah. Did you no dolls? No, nothing like that?
Occasionally dolls, but I was more of a I'm gonna go read, play with my friends outside, wooden blocks kind of thing, and whatever really struck my fancy at the time.
And you're an outdoor girl because you're an equestrian yourself, right?
I am. I spent most of my time as a kid running around the barn with my mom and my sister.
Yeah.
So you have the Breyer horses.
I do. I have a very vast collection.
Beautiful looking.
I love them.
So, you're still letting people come in. Do you have any clubs or organizations where you have people come in and regularly do the slot cars together?
So slot car racing has always been a thing. There's probably a dozen professional tracks around Central New York. It's mostly a club type of thing. A dozen guys get together in somebody's oversized man room and they go racing. There is a place up in Salve called Speedy's that they race the larger slot cars, the ones about the size of your hand.
Okay, gotcha.
124th. Very, very interesting. It's an experience. You can, when you pull in the parking lot, you hear the cars going around on the inside.
They're all electric, right? They're all
electric.
Yeah, electric.
Yeah. And then you got RC, which is the gas or the electric equivalent outside without a guide, without a groove to ride in.
So, would you suggest that people come over to your place or look online?
If you're going to play with toys, come on over. Sure. Mine is a destination place. There's got to be one place on planet Earth that has the most. I just happen to be it. So people drive 6, 8, 10 hours to come see me and wander around to make a pile. There's nowhere else you can really see the variety of stuff that I have. If I was, a little smarter, a little younger, I might open a museum.
Right.
But
not just slot cars, though. They can see everything. Your Americana, your
Salina Street or Teal Ave
is
almost exclusively slot cars.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yes.
I have a place, I own a church up the road, Trinity, that I keep all of the regression therapy stuff in the...
Okay, but that's not for public perusing, so to speak?
Not really, no.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to, what about cards? Do you do anything with baseball cards, basketball? Anything?
I tend to pass on that. It doesn't really qualify. I generally say it's got to have wheels or a motor to get me interested, whether that's a real car or a toy car or something.
Yeah.
In that
so that's
genre.
A whole different world.
It is a whole different world.
Yeah. And people are still doing that.
Popular Magic has kind of taken the place of traditional.
Oh, I have friends that love
cards.
Magic the Gathering.
My kids still play Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, 25, 26 years old. They have groups of seemingly grown adults get together and play with a card. Yeah, but it's toys nonetheless. It's a mental toy.
Right, gotcha.
Rather than a physical toy. Slot cars are very physical. Slot cars, when you're racing side by side and you're side by side for more than 1 or 2 laps, just everything gets ratcheted.
I'm sure it gets super competitive, I'm sure.
And the rule is, if you're going to wipe out, take the other person with you.
Oh, yeah.
No points awarded.
That's fun. All right. Well, that's Bob Moulter right there. He's, an icon in his own mind. And right here in Syracuse, owner of Slot Car Central. Go visit him and get into slot cars. Look it up. And then regression therapy.
Regression therapy toys.
Toys.
That's okay.
Regression therapy toys
on
eBay. So, all right, get on there and check it out. All right, Bob, thanks again for being here.
Thank you both. That was fun.
Right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Amy McNamara. She's the owner of Pick Your Stitch. I don't hope it's not Pick at the Stitch, but, we'll we'll talk with her next on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again. Happy weekend to you, and I hope you're having a great time with your family. And of course, if you come from any type of a military family, I know that that's even more extra special, and everybody's clapping and enjoying the fact that we have freedoms here in the United States. July 4th, 2024, it's all here. Sonia has been filling in for Steve on some personal business, and it's been great having you here.
Yeah, it's been really awesome to be here again.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and interviewing the guests. And once again, don't be shy to speak up, and you can talk right over me because I'm used to it with Steve. So
I'm a little bit nicer than Steve.
Yes, you are. You are sweet compared to him. So we've got a new guest to the show. Her name is Amy McNamara. She's the owner of Pick Your Stitch. How are you, Amy?
I'm good, thank you.
I think that's a good name as opposed to Pick at the Stitch.
Pick at the Stitch,
you never want to pick at the stitch.
No, you don't.
I've got 3 kids, and I think I must have said that phrase 100 times. Stop picking at that. We just bought it.
That's right.
And it starts to unravel. So, Amy, are you homegrown? Are you from Syracuse?
I am. Yep. I grew up in Camillus.
Okay. Yeah. Are you a West Jenny girl?
Oh, I'm a West Jenny girl.
So
are my kids.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you got into this business how? What led you? What was your journey like? Did you go to college, or did you, just get in the workforce?
I went to college, but then I started working at, it was Money, then it was AXA, now it's Equitable.
Yeah.
So I was there, and I was getting burnout. It was just so much. I was in IT, and it was just so much. I was getting burnt out. So I decided to retire at age 55, and then I was trying to figure out what to do. And then somebody I knew, I just started sewing, and somebody was retiring. So that was like the beginning of April. I had the business open by June 1st.
No kidding. How many years ago?
8.
8 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's an interesting thing. So did you have a computer science degree when you were in IT? Or?
No, it was more business related. I was project manager.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which is always fun because you have to deal with people and the technology.
Exactly. The people part is so much fun.
Oh, yeah. I can see why you were burned out.
Yeah.
I know a lot of project managers who are swinging from a tree.
Yeah.
So then you start this thing, so you had an affection for sewing. Were you doing, needlepoint, or were you doing quilts? What were you doing?
I started with quilts. We're the crazy people that take fabric, cut it up into pieces, and create new fabric.
Yeah. What do you put inside the quilt? What kind of material?
It's called batting, and it can be polyester or cotton. It's just a thick material that makes it comfy and warm.
Is it best to use cotton? Is that the most pure and the least the least allergy provoking?
Probably. Yeah. It's a bleached cotton sometimes, but I've never heard of anybody having issues reaction with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I like, a nice quilt.
I wish I had the patience for sewing. I've tried so many times, and I can barely fix a button.
Oh, that's what I was like years and years ago. My husband had to sew on all of the girls, Girl Scout patches. I couldn't sew at all.
No kidding.
But I always wanted to quilt. So one day, my friend and I, Patty, we met with another friend, and we just started quilting, and I never turned back. But you know what? Now, owning a business, I have no time to quilt.
Full circle.
No time to quilt, and embroidery, also machine embroidery.
Wow.
I sell Pfaff, Husqvarna Viking, and Janome sewing machines.
Okay.
So having 3 brands is very hard.
That's what I was going to ask you. So explain the nature of your store and what it's about. Do you have a brick and mortar store?
I have a brick and mortar.
And where's that located?
That is at 6701 Manlius Center Road. It used to be it's a brick Plaza. It used to be a train station years ago.
Where is that?
It's like across from Walmart.
In East Syracuse? Or?
Yeah, Bridge Street turns into Manlius Center Road.
Right, I know where that is now.
It's like Carson Home is there. That's like, it used to be the, DeWitt Home Center.
Yeah, all that. And right down from Kia of East Syracuse.
Oh, right next to us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, gotcha. Understood. Yeah, nice place. Okay. So when people walk in, what do they see?
When they walk in, depends. We have 2 doors. So if they go in the smaller door, they come in and they see all of our beautiful sewing machines.
Oh, okay.
And those are the moneymaker.
Right. So sewing machines are still a thing.
Oh, gosh, yes.
High tech, I would imagine?
Oh, my God, they're so high tech. It's like computers now.
No kidding.
There's software to make your embroidery designs. It's really high tech.
Wow, really? Yeah. Not your mother's sewing machine?
It is absolutely not.
Do you get a lot of people who come in and buy those things and then sell on Etsy and things like that?
We have people that do that. There's a lot of bag makers. So they're making bags and totes and they're selling them on Etsy.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And so tell us about the machines and what maybe the most popular machine is that you carry.
Oh my goodness, it's hard because there's. I'll tell you my favorite.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is the PFAFF Creative Icon.
PFAFF. How do you spell that?
PFAFF. Everybody says it wrong. PFAFF.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wow. So PFAFF. Okay.
That's my favorite machine. But I took on Janome a couple of years now. Yeah. Knew nothing about them, and they are really, really nice machines also.
And it's just a standard sewing machine, or does it? What? Tell us what it does. What are the capabilities?
Okay, so you have machines that are, $400 in my shop.
Okay.
And they go up to $23,000.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Do you have leasing programs or?
Oh, we do. We do have 0% financing.
Okay, financing. All right.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, I know. So many people come in and they're like, "It's buying my first car."
Right.
Yeah.
So what do they do? Tell me what kind of things can you make other than bags?
Well, bags and then quilts. Basics, not a basic sewing machine, but then there's some, and quilters really like a big throat space so they can, move their quilt and their fabric together.
Yeah.
There's long arms. I don't carry those, but it's a big machine that you stand behind a frame and then you move the machine to do your quilting. I used to have time for that. But
do these machines also embroider? Or?
Yes.
Oh, they do.
Yes, we have, and that's the Performance Icon too. They have, they do embroidery. And they have cameras in them, so it helps you place.
Wow, not get your fingers?
That, and place exactly where you want your design to be.
Yeah.
It projects it on
there. Oh, no
there.
kidding, yeah.
It's
wow.
That takes a lot of guesswork out of it.
It does. And, people say we're, they used to see their grandmother hand stitching. And so they say we're cheating because we're pressing a button. But it's all the design work that,
that goes into it.
Makes it
So how many machines do you have there, inventory-wise?
Oh, my goodness. I probably have, I don't know, I'm going to say 40.
Okay, great. You got to be one of the only people in town that does something like this? Or do you have competition?
There is competition. There's Calico Gals.
Okay.
And then actually I'm part owner in another store in Skinny Atlas called Finger Lakes Fabrics.
Gotcha.
We opened a year and a half ago, maybe.
All right. Well, speaking of fabrics, do you carry fabrics at your place?
I do. That's if you go in the other door. You see my few thousand bolts of fabric there. And I have a classroom in the back.
Oh.
So we teach people, how to make bags, how to make quilts, how to embroider.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And are those paid courses or paid classes?
Yeah, people pay for the classes. We have Open Sew if you want to come in and just, we have somebody there. I'll help you if you have questions.
Excellent. So tell people, how do they get a hold of you? I went on your website, pickyourstitch.com.
Yes.
And that has a lot of great pictures, pickyourstitch.com. But can they call you as well? Or?
Yes, they can call us at 437-0962.
Okay, 437-0962. Write that down. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to plug myself a little bit here.
Go ahead, yes. Yes, go ahead.
We're closed this week for the 4th of July. My granddaughter's in town, so I wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
And then we're only open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 2. We're closed on Sundays and Mondays.
Excellent.
So starting Tuesday, July 9th, we are going to have our big summer event. It's the first one we've had. It's time for me to reduce the 50 sewing machines down to a smaller number. It's easier to sell them then.
Yeah.
And to get my inventory down.
Excellent.
So it'll be sewing machines, really low prices, and then some overstock items. No fabric on sale, though.
All right, wonderful. Well, it's great to meet you, Amy, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. All right, Sonia, that's going to do it for us. Thank you for pitch hitting for Steve.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure to have you. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, Tom and Steve and Sonia, God bless you and your families. Make some time to relax and exercise today and every day. Do it with a friend or family member. It'll keep your mind and body healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1. Then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.